Good morning. It's time for our daily devotion. I have a question for you today. Are you in a rut? Do you have any ruts in your life? You know, most of us, if we're honest, we have those habits, those behavioral patterns in our life, those ruts that we've gotten into over time that we wish weren't there, but they are. And I've found something over my life, especially as I've gotten a little bit older. Once you get into a rut, the longer you're in it, the deeper it gets. And the deeper it gets, the harder it is to get out of it. So we all have those ruts, those things that we do, sometimes even without thinking in our life, that keep us from being all that we ought to be. So I have some quick steps today to help you get past some of those ruts, out of some of those ruts, and perhaps be more productive in your life. So step number one, identify the most detrimental or the least productive rut in your life. Just pick one, because if you try to pick them all, if you try to think of 10, you'll never probably do much about any of them. So just start with one. The most detrimental or the least productive rut in your life. Maybe it's that 3-hour nap you take in the afternoon. You don't really need it. You're not really sleepy. You get plenty of sleep at night, but you kind of enjoy taking that 3-hour nap, but that's not very productive. That's 3 hours you could be doing something that would have some really great results rather than just giving you 3 hours of extra sleep or extra rest. Maybe one of the detrimental ruts in your life is you've gotten in the habit of eating a big bowl of ice cream before you go to bed every night. Whether you have a weight problem or not, that's probably not the healthiest habit or healthiest rut to have in your life. Maybe it's some other thing, but identify the least productive or the most detrimental rut in your life. That's step number one. Step number two, come up with one step that you can take to help get you out of that rut or to help you break that habit. One step that you can do that will cause you to not be able to fall back into that pattern, to fall back into that rut. For example, if the rut you're trying to get out of is having that big family-sized bowl of ice cream every night before you go to bed, one step you can take is don't let yourself buy ice cream when you go to the grocery store. Just stop buying those half gallons and stocking the freezer with 6 different flavors and chocolate syrup and marshmallow cream and cherries to put on top. Stop doing that. If you don't want to eat ice cream every night, just don't bring it home. It's awfully hard to eat ice cream that isn't available to you. And you probably won't get up and go down to the store every time you want some. Or if your least productive habit is taking that long nap in the afternoon, find something else to fill that time. If you've got that much extra time, volunteer somewhere. Do something productive with that time. Make something. Start a hobby. But do something that will keep your brain active and keep your body active and help you not to fall into the pattern or the rut of taking that long nap when you don't really need it in the afternoon. So, first step, identify the most detrimental or least productive rut in your life. Number two, come up with one step that you can do to break that habit or to get out of that rut. And then 3, trust God to do something new and fresh to fill the void that getting out of that rut will leave. One of my favorite scriptures is found in Isaiah 43:19, and it's God speaking, and he says, "Behold, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth." God wants to do something new and fresh in your life. I have a feeling that for the most part, God's not excited about ruts in our life. He likes us to always be on the cutting edge of doing the next thing he asks us to do and leads us to do. And we can't do that if we're buried deep down inside of a rut in a behavioral pattern that keeps us from being able to move freely and go when he says go and do what he says do and say what he says say. So God wants to do something new and fresh in your life, and it will spring forth. But many times it will only spring forth when we do our part to get out of the ruts. Identify the most detrimental, the least productive rut in your life. Come up with a step that you can take to break that habit, to get out of that rut, and then trust God to do something new, fresh, and exciting in your life today. And He will. Now, go make it a great day, and I'll see you next time.